Welcome back to Truck on the Seven Seas. This is episode number 52. And in this episode, we're going to go over week 22 of the Night Transportation Lease Operator Program. So this episode is probably going to be the last full week at Night Transportation. So I gave him my resignation and let him know that I'm leaving. So I'm heading over to Landstar. And as I'm filming this right now, I don't think I'll be taking another load. So I did a couple loads last week. But they are probably going to be on next episode, and then that's probably going to be it. So next week, or next episode I should say, we'll have a short week. It'll be a couple loads, and then I think that's going to be it. I'm still technically working for them. I'm still on their books and everything, and I'm still paying the insurance and all that good stuff, but I don't think I'll be taking another load from them, as I'm going to be moving over to Landstar. So I'm moving over to Landstar right now, and I should be taking loads for them. As you're watching this video, it'll probably be maybe 2 weeks or so when I take my first load, maybe 3, I'm not sure. So I'm working everything out. I got most of it already set up. So, I applied to them, took a picture of the ID and everything like that. I already did a urinalysis for them. And after the urinalysis comes back, should pass. I don't see why I would not. That'll come back, and then I'll apply to them, and then I got to go through their orientation and everything like that. I'm still not 100% sure what that's about, but that'll probably take, about a week or whatever. And then after I do the orientation, I should be able to take a load. So I'll keep you posted on that. But as of right now, I don't think I'll be taking any more loads for night, and we are moving over to Landstar. So when I move over to Landstar, I'll likely do a bit, kind of adjust fire on how I do these videos. So I always try to provide as much information as I can in these videos. These aren't necessarily like the most entertaining videos, and I know that, and I'm actually okay with that. So I just try to provide information. And when I move over to Landstar, I'll probably kind of move away from the drop-in hooks and things like that. A, because there's less drop-in hooks, and B, because, well, I'd like to provide more information. So what I'll probably end up doing is talk about, like every time I book a load, I'll probably just show, all right, here's the load I need to book. It's going from Texas to California. I like it because, it pays well. There's not a lot of mountains, and I'll maybe do more of an analysis of why I'm choosing those loads. So I'll probably start leaning toward that instead of the drop-in hooks and things like that. But I'm still working that out. But when I move over to Landstar, I'm probably going to adjust fire on how I do these videos a little bit. There will still be a spreadsheet at the end. But be prepared for that. I'll probably adjust fire on how I do these vlogs. So just a note there. So on top of that, a couple other announcements. The interview that Night Transportation did. So Night Transportation wanted to interview me. I guess they liked the spreadsheet and they liked what I was doing. They didn't fire me. They actually interviewed me, which is kind of cool. So that interview, you can it'll be up top somewhere, and I think it'll be over here actually. So you can watch that interview there. It's about 25 minutes. It's just like a sit-down talk that I did with a guy named Freddie. So that was cool. You can watch that video right there, and let me know what you think in the comment section. And so that was pretty cool. So you can watch that video again up here, wherever I put it beforehand. And so that was cool. Also, I'm planning on taking off some time in May and June, late May and early June. So the World Series of Poker is coming to Las Vegas, Nevada. And for those of you who have been watching this vlog since the beginning, I do like to take some time off to play in the World Series of Poker. So I'll probably do that. I'll definitely do that this year again. And plan on taking some time off in May, June timeframe. And so that's coming down the pipe. I should be working for Landstar at that point, so all good. But just note there, planning on playing in the World Series of Poker here in a couple months. And I guess the last announcement is I didn't do much filming again. So I was working on my application to Landstar. I was taking time off, and just a lot of things got in the way. And as a result, I didn't do any filming again. So we're going to keep it very down and dirty instead of doing like the travel thing that I normally do. I'm kind of out of time, to be honest, and I'm just quite busy. I'm taking time off and visiting family right now. So instead of doing all that, we're just going to get straight into the spreadsheet, and I'm just going to show you what the final week was. So let's get into the spreadsheet right now. For week 22, we did 3 loads, and in those 3 loads, we got 2,217 miles. We were paid a total of $3,723 for an average of $1.68 per mile. Fuel expense, we fueled up 5 times. In those 5 times, we paid $1,660 for an average of 75 cents per mile. Other expense, MRP 110, Qualcomm 13, Bobtail 692, physical damage 69, occupational accident policy 34, permits 42, pre-pass 350, truck payment 450, scales 1350, fuel mile tax $74.85, Annually security deposit for $100 for a total of $918 for an average of 41 cents per mile. Totals for week 22. Total expenses were $2,579 for an average of $1.16 per mile. Total revenue was $3,723 for an average of $1.68 per mile. That brings our net settlement to $1,143 for an average of 52 cents per mile. Total since starting the program, we have driven a total of 47,935 miles. Total expenses were $52,334 for an average of $1.09 per mile, and that is my cost per mile right there. Total revenue was $86,450 for an average of $1.80 per mile. That brings our net cash flow to $34,116 for an average of 71 cents per mile. If I had been a company driver during this period, I would have made $25,884 at 54 cents per mile. And if I had been an owner-operator who owned his truck outright, I would have made $42,045 for an average of 88 cents per mile. Averages and other information. Average weekly paycheck is $1,550. Average weekly miles is 2,179. Total fuel cost is $27,051 for an average of 56 cents per mile. Total maintenance cost is $4,852 for an average of 10 cents per mile. Other expense costs are $16,691 for an average of 35 cents per mile. If I kept this up for a 52-week period, I get $80,637 and drive a total of 113,000 miles. We've been employed 154 days, or 22 weeks. Taken 20 days off, 134 days on duty, taken 85 total loads. Average load length is 564 miles, and the total security deposit at this time is $2,050. Alright, moving on to the volatility graph. You can see the volatility of the company driver versus the lease driver. Company's blue, lease is red. And as you can see, lease driver is way more volatile than a company driver. Some weeks I lost money, some weeks I made a bunch more. So just getting information, good information for you there. Lease operator, their paychecks, their weekly settlement, whatever you want to call it, is far more volatile than a company driver who stays relatively stable. And just comparing total company pay versus total lease pay, this is just pay in aggregate of the lease operator versus a company driver, and just shows who would have made more. So again, red is lease, company's blue. And if you scroll over it, you can see each week in aggregate I would have made as a lease driver, and then how much in aggregate you would have made as a company driver, getting 54 cents per mile. And as you can see, red has kind of taken off a little bit away from company driver, and just shows that lease operator is in fact making more than a company driver. So lease operator, I've made $33,000, and if I were a company driver, I only would have made 25, and that number is also right here. So those are the same numbers. And yeah, so that just shows pay in aggregate of a company driver versus a lease driver, and just compares them side by side to see who's making more. Okay, yeah, so there is week 22, 52 cents per mile, not great. Should be the last full week, so that's interesting. And yeah, so there's week 22. Took a couple more loads the following week, so as I'm filming this right now, I have completed the following week, and the next episode will probably only have like 2 loads on it, and then I'll just do a summary of everything at Night Transportation, and yeah, and that's that. But that's just a down and dirty episode. Not a whole lot of film this week. Fell behind. Busy with Landstar application, busy with everything. So, whoops. But yeah, next week will probably be not much better. I'll do a summary, I think. So it'll be a little bit different. But again, not much filming. And then after that, sorry, I had to cough there. But after that, yeah, I'm not sure how it'll go. I got to do the orientation for Landstar and everything. So, I mean, in the coming months, I don't know, things are going to get a little wonky here. So, I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I'm going to have to improvise the next few episodes. So, yeah. But that will just about do it for this episode. If you were interested in this spreadsheet or any of the other spreadsheets I've done in the past, you can open them. They're in the About section down below. So just open them, then hit File, Download, and then you can download it to a Microsoft Excel sheet. And then after you download it to a Microsoft Excel sheet, you can use it however you'd like. And if you are interested in truck driving, there's a link in the comment section down below. Just click that link, fill out your information, and Driver Recruiter will get a hold of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.